I put swamp water into a simple glass jar, and it ended up completely packed with strange creatures, piled on top of one another everywhere inside, while something else, hidden away in the darkest corners of the jar, seemed to be watching them closely. It all started when I decided to get away from the city, heading toward a swamp that, at first glance, seemed to have no signs of life at all. But right at that moment, something moved nearby. A spider that bolted at the sight of me and hid beneath a rock. I then tried fishing for a while, though all I managed to do was snag my line and lose the lure somewhere in the bottom. Determined not to leave empty-handed, I filled a glass jar I had brought with me with water from the swamp, along with some plants and roots from the shore, since countless aquatic creatures tend to hide within them. And if there really was any life in that place, I was about to find out. At first glance, the water in the jar seemed completely lifeless, total silence, as if there was absolutely nothing in there. But once I activated the zoom on my camera and carefully searched through every corner, something appeared that I never could have expected to see. The water was completely packed with mayfly nymphs, an insect whose scientific name literally means short-lived. Since once they reach adulthood, they only live for a few hours, just enough time to reproduce. During this stage, though, they can spend up to several years underwater, feeding on algae and breathing through external gills visible along their abdomen. On top of that, they're extremely sensitive to pollution, so their presence here means this water is far cleaner than it looks. But that wasn't all, because some nematode worms also appeared, moving much more elusively. These belong to one of the most abundant groups of animals on the entire planet, and many of them act as true parasites of other creatures living in these very waters. And it seemed to tolerate the presence of the mayfly nymphs quite well, coexisting together in that same cramped space inside the jar without any issue, and never bothering one another at any point, which was quite striking. Then something appeared that I have no idea how it managed to get inside the jar, a dragonfly, known as Clogmia albipunctata, the same one you've probably seen in your shower, or near the drain. And here's something curious. Its body repels water so effective that it's nearly impossible to drown it. I noticed something strange. The mayfly nymphs were gathering near the surface of the water, with very few of them left in the depths. And shortly after, I figured out why, without even realizing it, I had captured the true apex predator of this entire ecosystem, a dragonfly nymph that had been lurking and stalking them from the bottom this whole time. And dragonfly nymphs are true hunting machines, capable of staying completely motionless for hours, camouflaged against the bottom until their prey gets close enough. In that instant, they fire out their lower jaw at a brutal speed, seizing it in a matter of milliseconds, giving it no chance to escape. They feed on practically anything that moves around them: mosquito larvae, small crustaceans, and above all, mayfly nymphs, one of their absolute favorite prey. Without realizing it, I had offered them a true feast. Dozens of mayfly nymphs swimming right in front of their hiding spot, completely unaware of the danger lurking in the shadows, with not the slightest chance of anticipating what was about to happen. And here's something very few people actually know. Mayflies are the only insect on the entire planet capable of molting its skin after already growing fully functional wings. Something that goes completely against what happens in the rest of the animal kingdom, since in every other insect, once wings appear, that molting process stops for good. Before reaching their final adult form, they pass through an intermediate stage called the subimago, where they can already fly, though still with dull wings and a much more fragile body, until shortly after they molt one last time to complete their transformation. And looking at all of this from a purely scientific perspective, what I had in front of me in that jar wasn't just dirty water pulled from a swamp. It was an entire miniature microcosm, a complete food chain in action, with predators lurking in the shadows, prey struggling to survive, and parasites seizing every opportunity, functioning exactly the same as in any major ecosystem on the planet. Only this time, it fit entirely in my hands. Pay close attention to this truly incredible moment. Several mayfly nymphs climbing right onto the back of the dragonfly nymph, right as it devours one of its own kind, a genuinely unsettling scene, almost eerie, and one I'll probably only ever witness once in my life. On top of that, amid all that chaos, I spotted a beetle larva moving slowly, right alongside the mayfly nymphs gathered near the surface. And at that moment, it hit me completely clearly that jar was never and would never be their real home. All of them needed to go back to the swamp, so I decided to empty it out completely, returning, one by one, each and every one of these creatures to the home they truly belong to.